Hello, everybody. My name is Michaela Thornton. I'm an instructional designer in the Center for Digital Education. And I'm really grateful that you could come and talk with us today about Poll Everywhere. How and why do you use Poll Everywhere to engage students in your classes, but also in learning?
Yeah, one of the things that I ask students, I'll ask them just like, use what's a word to describe how you feel today, and then I'll do like a word cloud, and everybody can. And oftentimes it's just like tired or excited or it's kind of like it's sort of bimodal because they can't really chat with each other in the same way that they could before, and I think that allows people to communicate a little bit. Then I'll also ask them like, what's your favorite song, and I'll get them to vote on that stuff, and then I'll put those on Spotify before class and play them. That way the virtual people are hearing that, the people in the room are hearing that. It gives them something that kind of like creates a shared space.
So I organize debates a lot, and I would take a poll before the debate, seeing the sense of, for example, we have questions like, should multinational companies engage in projects sponsored by local government? And then we'll discuss all the pros and cons and taking a deep dive on the strategy side, and then take a poll at the end of the class just to show whether our discussion had made any difference, right? Students was like, oh, wow, yeah, I changed their mind. So it's effective in the sense that they force the students to realize how much they gained in that class.
I was doing hand polls, right? But that takes quite a bit of time, and it's not that interesting. A lot of people don't vote. It's usually just, would you do X or Y? That was the simple question I would ask, because pretty much that's all you can do if you're taking the hand poll. But once I started using it, what was cool, I realized, one, it's a means for students to get participation credit if they don't really like to speak up in class. And once I realized that, then it also is my attendance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And beyond that, once students know that this is part of their participation grade, it's also an incentive for them to have read the case, right?
I had the no electronics policy. I don't want students to take out any electronics, to take the polls. And this year I'm using it more extensively because they're in front of a computer anyway. So the cost of doing that is minimal. And I'm using it this year mostly for the so-called exit slip. So I had the question at the end of every class. I leave 2 minutes asking the students, what's the main takeaway you have from this class?
So I had a similar situation with Minuan, where I had a no electronics policy, but I've really adopted it in a bigger way during the pandemic, because I see it as a way to try to connect the students that are virtual and the students that are in the class. So in particular, one of the features I use in Poll Everywhere is called Q&A. And what this is it's a polling feature where you can ask a question. So for example, I might ask, why do you think this company will be able to withstand competition? Like, why won't another competitor be able to enter the market that this company has demonstrated as profitable? And then students can provide their own response to that. And you'll have a bunch of different answers, and the students can upvote or downvote their classmates' responses. And so in about 30 seconds, everybody is communicating, everybody is engaging, and you kind of have a wisdom of the crowd effect where like the best answers bubble up pretty quickly. And then I can kind of scroll and see if they're missing anything and say, okay, I think we're still missing something here, and kind of like lead them towards other things we want to talk about.
So just in the previous class, I was talking about Berkeley Network and its, the relationship with Intel. And I used that feature and asked the students, what did Berkeley Network want to get out of Intel? 1 minute in, I stopped the poll, and on that page, it's Microsoft all over the page. This is such a dramatic moment, right? It's interesting. I'm asking about Berkeley Network and Intel. Look, they approach Intel for the purpose of getting close to Microsoft. So yeah, sometimes this kind of answer bubbles, I don't know how to call them, can have dramatic moments. When you capture it, it's more effective than just talking.
This is an example. I did this case called Kids and Company, which is a really interesting case about a Canadian childcare provider that's expanding into the US. And so one of the questions I asked the students was, what's the biggest difference between the US and Canadian markets when it comes to moving this firm's strategy into the new place? So the number one response people said is fewer corporate benefits. One of the things you don't necessarily see in this example is students can also downvote other options. So if they downvote something, it will like here we see a blue bar on the right. But on the left, if they downvoted, it will pop out to the left, and then the number will give you the net score. And so you can see things that are also controversial if the gray bar is popping out on the left-hand side.
I just want to say thank you so much, Anne-Marie, Minwan, and Seth, for taking time out of your busy teaching schedules to talk with us at the Center for Digital Education. We really appreciate all the hard work that you're putting forth this semester. We just want to say keep up the great work.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks a lot.